All right, coming to sit in a comfortable cross-legged position. I like to elevate my hips on a cushion if you have one. Sitting up nice and tall, shoulders slide down and back. Let's touch our index fingers to thumbs and start by just observing the natural breath for a few cycles. Noticing where you might be holding tension. In the abdomen or the chest, neck or jaw. Just a couple more rounds of breath like this. Not trying to control the breath, but just noticing. Deepen your breath into the abdomen, allowing the belly button to move away from the spine and back towards the spine. We're going to keep this diaphragmatic breath throughout the practice as much as we can. Smooth, even breaths in and out through the nose, expanding the belly, and then releasing the belly back to the spine. Open your eyes if you haven't already done so. We're going to drop the chin to the chest first, reaching the fingertips down towards the floor and making a little half circle with your chin on your chest to release the back of the neck. Two more like that, from one side to the other. Back to the center and roll up through the cervical spine, looking at the ceiling. Roll the shoulders down and back, reaching the fingertips slightly behind you. And if you can, close your teeth together here. You may feel a pull on the fascia underneath the chin. A lot of us are very tight there. One more breath. And releasing to the center. Inhaling both arms up, looking at the thumbs. Exhale, kind of diving forward. Using your hands for support. 3 breaths in the forward bend. Let your head be heavy. And drop the tailbone first, rolling up through the spine. Stacking one vertebra at a time. Head is the last thing to arrive. One more time, inhale, reach up, looking up at the thumbs. Exhale, dive the chest forward. Breathing into the back of the body. And letting your head be heavy. Drop the tailbone and roll up through the spine. Coming into a tabletop position. Always welcome to grab a towel or fold over your mat if you're Kneecaps are sensitive here. Wrists relatively underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, starting from a neutral spine. Smooth, even breaths in and out through the nose. We tuck the toes under and shift the hips back, stretching through the arches of the feet. Keeping your weight towards the big toe, side of the foot. Up into tabletop, relaxing the toes. I'm going to reach the right leg back. So the top of the foot is resting on the mat. And we're going to circle through the foot. So we're going to rock towards the inside of the foot, onto the ball of the foot, towards the outside edge of the foot, and then back to the top of the foot. So making a circular movement through the foot, using your torso or your hip movement to direct the foot roll. And then we'll reverse directions, rolling through the foot the other way. Kind of an exploratory movement, just noticing what's going on in the ankle, getting some sensation going in your feet, which helps us balance and feel stable in the standing poses. Sliding the right knee to meet the left, back into a neutral spine. Slide the left foot back and do the same thing. So we're rolling through the foot by moving the torso. Kind of painting the planes of the foot with the floor. Reversing direction. Pretty normal to have sound effects here. One more roll through the foot. And bringing the left knee to meet the right. Shifting your hips back, hands together, making some circles with the wrists. Smooth, even breaths in and out through the nose, even when you're doing these warm-up movements. And reverse the direction of your circles. And we'll come back through tabletop. And cat-cow the spine. Inhaling, tailbone, top of the head up to the ceiling, drawing the shoulder blades back, chest open. Exhaling, rounding through the spine, starting with the tail, moving towards the head. Big arch like a Halloween cat. On your own breath, two more breaths like that. From the neutral spine, we're going to come up into that high arch and stay there. So start by dropping the tailbone, rolling through the spine, and then dropping the top of the head. Shoulder blades pressing up towards the ceiling. And we rock a little bit forward, Feeling the stretch move into the upper back and neck, and then rock a little bit to the back, feeling the length in the lower back. 3 rocks forward and back. Coming back to the center, hips back towards the heels. We take the knees wide apart. Dropping down towards the mat or the floor with the chest. So you have options here. If your hips tend to be quite high off the ground, then sometimes it feels like in child's pose you're falling on your head, right? So you can stack your hands and rest your forehead on your stacked hands or a cushion if you have one. If you feel like you want the upper back stretch and you're not struggling with falling on your head, then we stretch the arms in front. You can rest chin or forehead on the mat. We're going to take 10 breaths here, just releasing into the floor. And pressing into the hands, slowly walking yourself back to sit on the heels, draw the knees back together. Interlace the fingers, press up, open chest, relax the shoulders down and back, creating space underneath the armpits. And then releasing the hands, the pinkies lead back in a big circle, opening the chest. We're going to take the right foot forward. So this is a little balance challenge sometimes. Nice and slow, controlled movement. Coming into the lunge, let your pelvis drop forward to lengthen the hip flexor. Little breath here. Make sure your hips are over your knee. In a slow, controlled movement, we're going to pick up this right foot and bring the right knee to meet the left. Again, sometimes it causes a balance challenge. Now we're going to move the left foot and let the pelvis fall forward. Breathing here. Shifting the pelvis over the knee. Pick up this left foot. Slow, controlled movement. Knees together. One more time, stepping the right foot forward. Hip flexor stretch. Drop the pelvis forward. This time adding a hamstring stretch. The hips go back. Flex the front foot. Reaching the pinkies back behind you. Chest leads forward. Bending the knee again, pelvis over the knee, right foot moves back to meet the left. Left foot steps forward, slow and controlled. Shift the pelvis forward, stretching the hip flexor. And then the pelvis back. Straighten the front knee, flex the foot, and we reach our pinkies back along the side of the body as we fold. Breathe. And everything comes forward again, hips over the knee, step the left foot, sitting down on the heels. Resting the hands on the tops of the thighs, 3 breaths here, just to reset. Coming forward through tabletop. Tuck the toes under. Give the feet a little stretch by pressing your hips back. Noticing how your feet might feel different than they did before all of those circles, various movements. And then tucking the toes under, hips come up and back, downward facing dog. Feel free to keep your heels up and your knees bent, and instead focus on the belly moving back towards the thighs. The back of the head is heavy. Shifting the hips from side to side to stretch through the rib cage and the waist. Take it on your own timing. And then we'll walk the feet towards the hands, coming into a bent knee forward bend. Relax the back of the neck. Let the head be heavy. You can rest your hands on your shins if you like a little support here. If you want to really just release the shoulders and back, you can grab opposite elbows and let gravity take you. Rounding the back just like we did before, like a cat, dropping the tailbone in the head, and then we're going to stack the vertebra. Keeping your hands close to your thighs, rolling up. Head is the last thing to arrive. Shoulders come up, back, and down. Coming into Tadasana, mountain pose. Feet underneath the shoulders, slide the scapula down and back. Open the palms to the front. Let's pull our navel slightly up and towards the spine. Breathing into the rib cage. Crown of the head lifted. And we'll start by stepping the right foot back, taking a little bit shorter stance than you might normally for a warrior one. So this looks like 1.5 meter, a meter, 3 feet. The right foot is slightly turned out at the back, and the left knee is bent, but not a deep bend, reaching the arms up. So this little bit shorter stance is a bit more stable, and it doesn't force us into any extreme spinal position. So the arms are free to move easily, torso is free to move. Now press into the outside of the back foot. Relax the front toes and sink the hips a little bit lower. Little balance challenge here. So where your pelvis goes, that's where your gravity goes, right? So you want to balance over this left leg by shifting the pelvis forward, lifting the right knee, stepping down, palms together. Open the palms into mountain, kind of dynamic balance here. So step the left foot back into that short stance, Virabhadrasana, Warrior One. Pressing into the outside of the back foot and forward through the right foot. Toes are relaxed. Spine is neutral. Leading with the pinkies, making a circle behind you. Draw the shoulder blades back, lift the chest, and then frame the ears again. Shifting our weight into the right foot. Pelvis comes over the leg. Palms come together. And step into Tadasana, mountain. Breathe. We'll do one more time on each side. Stepping the right foot back. Mountain pose. So the longer your stance is, the more difficult it is to balance over the front leg. Keeping the stance shorter gives us a lot more control. Feeling the soles of the feet supporting you. All the sensitization work that you did on your feet, making them lively and aware. Where your pelvis goes is where you're going to stick. So we shift our pelvis over the front leg. Palms come together and step into Tadasana, mountain pose. Breathe here. And if you're stumbling, that's so normal. And trying to keep a sense of adventure or experimentation about it. Our balance changes every day. So the challenge is the fun. That's the practice. Stepping the left foot back. Warrior One. Breathe. Taking a circle here. Pinkies lead. Open chest. Lift the heart center, sternum, whatever you want to call it. And frame the ears again. Where your pelvis goes is where you're going to stick. So we're going to shift over the right leg. Palms together. And step into mountain pose. Smooth, even breaths in and out through the nose. Crown of the head drops, chin to chest, and we'll roll through the spine. Keeping your navel pulled back towards the spine. Hands close to the legs. Slow roll through the spine. Finding your relaxed bent knee forward bend. Wrap the tail around the spine even more. Keeping the fingertips close to the legs, we roll up as if stacking one vertebra on top of the other. Shoulders come up, back and down. Tadasana, the mountain. Smooth, even breaths in and out through the nose. Inhale, look up. Exhale, drop chin to chest. Fingertips on the legs, rolling through the spine. Nice and slow, coming into the forward bend for the last time. Bending one knee and then the other, stretching alternating hamstrings. You can rest your hands on your shins, thighs, the floor, wherever they go. All options welcome. The fingertips down to the floor, coming back through that familiar tabletop position. Hands underneath the shoulders, length through the spine, tailbone moving away from the top of the head. Smooth, even breaths in and out through the nose. Taking a little rock forward, stretching through the wrists, spread the fingers wide, feeling weight of your body on your hands, and then gently rocking everything backwards. Just really noticing the effect that the body weight of the pelvis has on our sense of center. Shifting slowly forward and back. Keeping the chest open here. One more time forward and back. And then slowly move into a place where you feel very stable and balanced in between the knees and feet. From here, we're going to press the left hand and right knee down into the floor and reach the right hand and left leg away. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale, release. Find your center again, where you feel very stable. And then ground the right hand and left knee and reach the left hand and right foot away. Bring it back to the center. One more time each side. So finding the center, feeling very stable, neutral spine. Remember to ground the left hand and the right knee as you reach the right finger and left foot away, pushing them down into the ground. And come back through the center. Find that balance point. Ground through the right hand and the left knee. Reach the left hand and right foot away. We return to the center, coming back to sit on the heels. Hero's pose here. So taking the feet slightly wider than the hips, knees together. If that feels really uncomfortable, either on your feet or your knees, then you can sit in a more traditional kind of thunderbolt shape. So with the heels directly underneath the hips, whichever one you like. Definitely hero pose, a bigger stretch on the thighs and feet. And if your hips are floating, you can slide a cushion underneath your butt to be more comfortable. Resting the hands on the thighs. Let's draw the shoulders up, back, and down. Long neck. Smooth, even breaths in and out through the nose. Letting gravity open up the space in the fronts of the ankles, and the fronts of the thighs. Feeling grounded. 2 more breaths. So allowing the fronts of the thighs to relax and soften naturally. Releasing the cushion if you were using one. Shifting forward and straightening one knee a few times and then the other. Sitting on our heels just like we did at the beginning. So hopefully you have enough space. You might want to back up so that you have some space to move forward. Just like we did at the beginning, we're going to shift the hips over the knees first. Smoothly and gently step the right foot forward. Just like we were going into that hip flexor stretch. Where your hips go, that's where you can balance, right? But this time we have to push off the thigh. So we're going to shift everything forward, using the back foot to help you, and step up. And then if you have some furniture nearby, don't be afraid to grab it. We're going to slowly lower back down. You can tuck the toe. You can also kind of use the top of the foot, but tucking the toe feels a lot more stable for most people. Step the right knee back to meet the left, sitting on the heels. So the pelvis comes over the knees, nice and balanced. Slow, smooth movement with the left foot. Shift your weight forward. Push into the back foot and press through the front heel. And you saw me wibble wobble is super normal, especially when doing this in a slow movement. We're going to step the right foot back, drop a knee down, hips over the knee for balance, and the left foot meets the right. This time we can do it a little bit faster, thinking about that upward movement, but also where your pelvis goes, that's where you're going to stick. So pelvis over the knee, right foot, pelvis forward, chest up. Shifting back, pelvis over the knee, step the right foot back. The left foot comes forward, hips come forward, chest up. Nice. One side is different than the other. Step back, slow controlled descent. Hips are over the knee. Woo, stepping the knees together and sit on your heels. Smooth, even breaths in and out through the nose. Folding forward, walking the hands forward into the tabletop. Taking the knees apart, hips back towards the heels. Kind of active child's pose, pressing through the heels of the hands, lengthening the lower back here. Little rock from side to side with the pelvis, the hips. And then we'll thread the needle so the back of the right hand comes underneath the left armpit, coming into a twist. Very relaxed. Shoulder and head can come to the floor. Just using gravity here. Unwind. Again, pressing into this active child's pose, pushing the hips back towards the heels and then rocking from side to side, releasing any remaining tension that you feel in the hip joints. And we'll slide the back of the left hand underneath the right, threading the needle for a spinal twist. Relaxing into gravity. Coming to unwind. One more time, pressing actively through the hands, hips back, towards the heels. You can take your knees wider apart if that feels good. Little rock from side to side, moving the femur, the thigh bone around in the hip socket. And then let your chest fall down towards the floor. Chin can rest on the mat or the forehead. Walking yourself once more, hips over the heels, knees together. And we'll come and sit. If you want to sit on a cushion, that's more comfortable, go for it. Making your way into whatever comfortable cross-leg position that you like. It can be crisscross applesauce or Sukhasana, easy pose, stacking the heels, Padmasana, lotus pose, Ardha Padmasana, half lotus pose. All welcome. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Relax the shoulders down and back. I'm going to take one hand on the chest today, and one on the belly, letting your rib cage and your abdomen be soft, and we just observe the natural breath to start. Noticing the path that the breath takes through the body and the sensation of the movement of your abdomen and chest. Bring the backs of the hands down onto the thighs, index fingers touching the thumbs. And we'll breathe just into the abdomen. So trying to keep your chest and rib cage and throat still, the muscles of the face relaxed, and letting your belly button move as far away from the spine on the inhale as possible, as close to the spine on the exhale as possible, without undue force. So you want to keep the breath smooth, like gentle waves lapping the beach, right? Cyclical and smooth, even. Breathing into the diaphragm. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. Five more diaphragmatic breaths. Returning to normal breathing. And checking in with the state of your physical body, noticing sensations that you feel in the hips and legs, ankles and feet. Maybe rocking the hips a little from side to side, feeling the state of the hip joints and the lower back, the spine and chest, arms, hands, and the neck, head, and face. And take your fingers and just bring them up slightly in front of the top of your ear. Slide them forward a little bit. There's a thick band of muscle that runs between your upper and lower jaw. It's the masseter. We're going to slide the fingers up and down along this band of muscle between the upper and lower jaw. Not being too tough on it, gentle. You may notice a difference between one side and the other. If one side is more tender, you can give some concentrated circular movements to the parts of the muscle that are feeling the most sensation. And then just a few more times sliding up and down. And then taking these two fingers, middle finger at the joint of the jaw, index finger underneath your ear where your jaw kind of sticks out, and just gently pressing. You may want to open and close the mouth a couple times. And release. Letting your face relax. Palms of the hands come together in front of the heart, thumbs lightly touching the sternum. And as we fold forward, thumbs touch the eyebrow center. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you for practicing with me.